What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and as you can see, we have had quite an ugly day today. Very interesting, so to speak. And yeah, I don't even know where to start. To be honest, my bias hasn't really changed. I'm still looking for dollar to continue on lower, but you can see how much we've wicked around and how price is playing on that Sunday opening price level. So let's go to the 1 hour, take a closer look. Let's get Thursday delineated for us, and I'll drag that right through. And I just want us to pay attention to how price rallied right up to that Sunday opening price and turned on the dime right there, and then broke lower. And then you can see we've just been gyrating. Now the entire week you can see we've been back and forth in this range, so we're very range bound, and we're clearly doing some consolidation on a higher time frame level, because if we're consolidating daily like this, back forth, then we're likely going to see some movement and expansion, and that's probably what's going to come in March, considering how, you know, range bound we are. We're just stuck in ranges right now. But generally speaking, my bias hasn't really changed at all. What I mean by that is that I'm still expecting dollar to be taking out this sell side liquidity, and although we ran out these highs, the fact that we turned at this, you know, Sunday opening like that and broke down so aggressively, that's the only thing that's giving me hope at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the charts. It's getting a bit messy right now. I'm going to go to the daily, see if we can just look at things again, and we can acknowledge things like the fact that we've traded back up into this, you know, this. Well, it's not even a bearish order block, is it? Let me be more clear on where we're looking for price to go. So overall on the high time frames, we know we want to get down towards this fair value gap right here. So sell stops below there, because there's a gap here. So between this low and this high, there's only upside delivery. So we're looking for price to trade down into this range ideally. So I am still biased in that I want to see price get down there. Now if we look at the daily chart, you can see I was just range bound, but let's go to the 4 hours, see if it gives us a little bit more to work with, and then we can pay close attention to this premium fair value gap right here. And what we'll find is that volume is pretty much respecting the low of it, as in we've traded into it. You can see how volume staying below the 50% level. Yes, we wicked in here once, twice. There's a lot of wicks going on, and wicks do the damage, but I'm still looking for us. Well, obviously we want to get down here, but more short term wise, I'm looking for price to still run into this sell side liquidity pool as well. So that is still my target. I am still bearish. Nothing's really changed there. Let's take a look at this wick. You can see we tapped into the 25% level right there. So I'd like to think that price doesn't trade above this candle moving into tomorrow. I like the fact that the 4 hour is staying respective of that 50% level of this fair value gap. So although we've wicked through it, I like the fact that the volume's staying here. I like the fact that the volume has traded way aggressively like this, and I like that we tapped into the 25% level of this wick, meaning that I don't think we should be needing to tap into there. But hey, I said this about, you know, if you watch yesterday's video, there's a lot of theories I also had which haven't necessarily played out. So this week is particularly difficult. We can also look at the well, it's not even a breaker, is it? No, let's not look at that. Let's go to the 1 hour, and yeah, just a lot of back and forth price action. But I'm just looking for us to respect this. Basically, I don't want to see us rally anymore. I just want to see us start to trade off and away from it, and I think we will get that. I know that we have high impact news tomorrow and moving into Friday, so I'd like to think that that will help drive price lower. This 1 hour bearish order block, we can look at that and obviously expect this to act as a bearish order block in that we don't trade back through it. And then what we can also kind of consider is this breaker, so high, low, higher, high, and then we've displaced. But the fact that we're so deep within inside it is making it very difficult right now. So yeah, these are very difficult conditions, guys. I haven't really been trading just because of how, you know, consolidated we've been. So don't be too hard on yourselves. But overall, I'm still looking for these relative equal lows to get taken, because they're way too smooth. This low, this low, this low, and this low, way too smooth. So I'm looking for price to draw down towards that moving into the new day. And like I said, the highest I'd want to see price trade would be here. Any higher than this range, and I'm just gonna leave it, because, you know, we have a draw on liquidity. We're expecting us to get down here. So yeah, that's pretty much my bias on dollar. But I do suggest you go watch yesterday's video for a better understanding. What we can look at is, if we on the 5 minute here, we do have a breaker, high, low, higher, high. So if we draw out that last down close candle, which is right here, you can see that we're kind of just trading in that now, which is quite interesting. So you could argue that, you know, that this massive retracement that we've witnessed is just a simple return to the breaker. Depending on obviously, you know, moving into the Asian range and moving into London, so long as we stay below here, then that would be a relatively fair theory, as in we've traded back to the breaker, so we go short, stop loss above here, and then, you know, expect these relative equal lows to be targeted, assuming we are bearish. But again, very difficult conditions, but I'd like to think since we've consolidated for so long all week, Thursday and Friday is probably going to be where most of the movement is going to occur. So let's go on to GBP USD. Again, very ugly. Look at this. Oh, absolutely crazy. When I see wicks like this, though, I do consider, like, look, why did it trade up there like that? It's traded right up, taking out buy stops above here. Let's clear the charts here as well. So we're on a 5 minute here, but if we look at the buy side liquidity that we have above here, and then we traded up into a fair value gap right here. So we wicked up into that, and then we've left it. So anyone that was short here would have been taken out. We've filled in an imbalance, so we delivered on the downside, we traded up on the upside. So this is a fairly, as far as I'm concerned, we should be able to leave. We should be able to continue, as in, now that we've ran out these highs, I'd like to think that we can see price try to trek on higher. But this is the 1 minute. Let's go to the daily and take a better look, guys. I'm getting carried away. So as you know, my bias on GBP, I'm looking for these highs to get ran up here. That hasn't changed. And then this bullish order block again is still very relevant. But I was saying yesterday, I'd like to think it could have held support, and that's obviously not the case off the back of the high impact news. But let's go to the 4 hour. And we do have a nice little 4 hour fair value gap that's formed right here. So it'll be nice to see if price can maybe tap into that and then use that to springboard higher and start running for our original targets. Let's go to the 1 hour. Again, that's that same gap. You could argue that this is a breaker, low, high, low, low, last up close candle, drag that out, and you can see we're trading in that, similar to what we're doing on dollar in terms of being in the breaker. But like I said, the fact that we've taken out highs on the way down like that, it suggests to me that we're likely going to continue a bit deeper, as in it is likely going to continue to drop before we get a reversal, if that is what is to occur. In line with that, that's why I'm expecting dollar to be able to retrace back into this range. It's just I don't expect it to spend much time there, and I'd like to think that I could leave it following that. So yeah, there's really not much more for me to say. Just an ugly day in general. But this level right here for the bullish order block from the higher time frame, I am paying close attention to, and I would like to think it can act how it's supposed to act, in that we can tap it and trade on higher. But obviously easier said than done. And then looking at the way we've consolidated our way before this expansion, again, if price is going to drop down below it, it would have to do it aggressively, and it'd have to start running like crazy. We'll finish up on Euro USD. Again, all crazy. Relative equal highs above here, still very relevant. But let's go to the daily. And yeah, the daily's not looking too clean, is it? But let's look at the buy side liquidity, which I still want price to trade to. So this is my target. This high, this high, this high. These are too smooth, and eventually price is just going to run to them like crazy, I believe, assuming it continues to respect bullish PD arrays. So let's look at this bullish order block. Bullish fair value gap, sorry. Again, look at volume. Wicks do the damage. Wicks take out people, but the volume is what we should be following, and you can see our volume is respecting it. So I'm happy with that. I like the fact that this wick right here has taken out the previous wick. Let's go to the 1 hour, and you can see we're kind of just playing around. Now this is very difficult price action to read. It's not like I'm looking at this like, oh, this is easy. This is craziness. I don't like it at all. We could argue that this is the breaker, this last up close here or here. If we drag that through, you can see how it taps into that here, taps into that here. So I would like to think we can reverse out of that, but obviously if we're expecting, the possibility that pound might want to dig a bit deeper, dollar might want to rally a little bit first, then we need to be aware that euro should be able to do the same. And with that taken into account, where would we be happy for euros to trade? Well, ideally it doesn't come down here, but if it is going to retrace to some extent, we have a rejection block level down here, which isn't ideal. I don't like using rejection blocks too much. So there is that level, but generally speaking, I just want to see continued support. But this low and this low isn't looking the strongest at all. So this is a possible reach, as in price to drop down there before trading on higher. And then also something to consider down there as well is a fair value gap right here that we've tapped into as well. So that's just something to consider for the downside, as in where price might want to drop before trading higher. But generally speaking, my bias hasn't changed in that I'm still looking for these very clean relative equal highs to get eaten for lunch. But yeah, that's going to be everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a very quick video, so do watch yesterday's video. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, smash subscribe, join the mailing list, join me over on Discord. All the links are in the description. And yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.